Underground radio.
What does it mean to be underground? It means you gotta be free to be underground. Yo, you got your own key when you're underground. If you're listening to me, yo, you underground.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Connected with Cari here on JessTV, Jess FM, Underground Radio C. We are also live through the Underground Radio C YouTube page. Yes, it's a newer edition. Please go over, like, and subscribe to my channel over there. And also to the other channels that we're streaming through too as well. So the JessTV, Jess FM Facebook page, their YouTube, the Meta TV, that's what we're also streaming live through. We're also streaming live through RokuTV. Now, I guess you can't really subscribe to it, but maybe you need to for TV services. So we're over there on the 101 app live, and Meta TV, I said as well. And that Meta TV is not like your Facebook and Instagram, like that Meta. This is Meta TV that goes live through Italy. So super cool over there. Same with the NCG television network in Italy as well. We're live over there. And for those folks, it is really early Sunday morning. So thank you for tuning in. Like I always say, grab your espresso, your cappuccinos, and sit down and have an early morning start to your Sunday and sit back and relax. Now, we are also going to, I'm going to bring my guest in here in a second. So I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. Connected with Cari, this is season 10. I'm coming near the end of season 10. I've been saying that for a while, but the end of July will be the end of season 10. And then starting August will be the beginning of season 11. So those of you that do want to come on for season 11, I'm still taking submissions for that season. You can contact myself at radioc.contact@gmail.com, or feel free to DM me through Instagram, Underground Radio C there, or through my Facebook page, Underground Radio C. Without further ado, I want to say thank you for staying dry and being in today as well. I have a special guest on this evening that I've been looking forward to having on. If you saw the promo for it, it's really cool and really interesting because like I've had a few athletes on the show, yes. Some have had major awards and some have gone on, like I had Nick Lewis on the other week and he is like the head receivers coach for the Stampeders. Yeah, and I've had another boxer on years ago. So it's nice to be able to introduce another boxer onto the show, which is kind of exciting because it's not just your average boxer. Now, this one, he's going to state what he's been doing, where he's going to be going. And if you did see my post, like I said, you may have had some tidbits of what tonight's show is all about. Now, this is not as big of a deal, but he was on CBC News not too long ago, but he'll go through that. So with us this evening, I welcome Jacob to the show. Welcome, Jacob.
Hey, Cari, thanks for having me.
You're so very welcome. My goodness, this is quite the accomplishment on your behalf.
Thank you.
And just to know, like, okay, you've been on the news and you've been kind of traveling around. This has been a big deal in your life. So I've had a few people commenting on posts already asking, what was your reasoning to get into boxing? What was the idea behind it? Like, did you watch a movie and go, oh yeah, I want to do boxing? Was it, come on, everyone's like seen Creed, those big movies, right? And I actually put like Creed on your reel for the post, which was really fun because I like the movies myself. But yeah, so just finding out, what was that first interest going into boxing? What was, like I said, the kind of moment? Maybe it was like a family member, could have been a movie, could have just been just a love for it. So I'm going to put you solo screen, and I'm going to have you take away the story of just the whole interest on it and how old you were when you first started. Here you go.
Well, my love for boxing started when I'd say I was around 4 years old. I grew up watching the legendary Manny Pacquiao, coming from a Filipino household. I always adored him, watched every single one of his fights. And since then, I've been boxing, but I haven't been taking it seriously. I'd say I was doing it more recreationally, using it to stay fit. And then it was at 13 when I joined a new gym, Calgary Boxing Club, and I started competing actively. I started training more consistently, and I just started racking up a lot of wins consistently. I was fighting multiple times a month, and I started to gain traction from there. And I was winning all these big tournaments, and that's where my love for boxing really started.
So you're just 4 years old.
Hmm.
That's amazing. I find it so truly amazing how somebody so young can figure out what they want to do for a career in their lifetime, even if it's just a sport. Or some people like movies and they're like, oh yeah, I want to be a movie producer, and they start getting into it when they're like a little bit older than 4 years old. So
Hmm.
that's super duper young to be able to go into that. So when you were first stepping into, the whole gym, and you walked into there, I know you're going to have to think back.
Oh yeah.
What was it like? What was just that moment when you walked in those doors and you thought, "Oh, I'm actually gonna do this." Take us through like that feeling.
Hmm. Yeah, it was. If I think back hard enough, or I remember just have taking in the smell of the gym, seeing everyone put in a lot of effort and hard work into the sport, and I was amazed from a young age. I was dumbfounded. I was like, man, this is a sport that I want to do for the rest of my life. I'd say I was decent at other sports, but I found since then that boxing was what I was really good at. I was good at fighting, which is weird, being as young as I was, but it's
Now, fighting your
what I have
siblings
passed
or
through.
just boxing fighting?
Just boxing, fighting. I'd hit the
Okay.
bag when I was younger, like just casually, and I liked that. I liked that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What was like the motivation? How can you just stay just that motivated almost every day? Because you're probably going and training every single day, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So take us through, and every single day of your life that you've been training. Take us through what is that day like for you?
Well, I'd say since I started competing actively and training consistently, I'd train twice a day, 6 days a week. I'd vary it up, but you usually it'd be strength and conditioning in the morning. That would include track sprints or bike sprints, some sort of cardio, and then preceded by some strength workouts. And then I'd have school. Then in the evening, I'd do my boxing training. That would include shadow boxing, some punching bag drills, sparring, stuff like that. And I've been doing that. I don't think I've taken over a week break since I was 13 doing that schedule.
So what if you guys go on family holidays?
Oh, even on family holidays, I have to make sure that I'm at least getting a little workout in every day. Maybe going for a run or doing some shadow boxing. Just keeping myself engaged in the sport.
Yeah. So your parents are super dedicated
Oh,
to
for
make
sure.
sure that you stay on track doing what you love to do. Is there
Mhm.
anybody else in your family that is in a sport that's as deep as yours and as dedicated as yours?
Well, my little brother, he's an up and coming boxer. He's just 14 years old, but around the time I started, he also started training and he was also competing. And I'd say it's too a bit early to tell, but he's promising. Very promising for sure. Yeah, and
What do
he
you think
inspires me.
makes Yeah, that's good. What do you think makes a promising athlete? What do
A
you
promising
see?
athlete. Hmm. I'd say a promising athlete. You don't have to be necessarily talented or gifted to start off with. If I see to identify a promising athlete, I'd say they have to have a strong work ethic to start with. They show up consistently. That when they may fall down sometimes, but they always get back up. They're studying their sport or whatever, but they have a good work ethic. That you don't have to be necessarily gifted. You have a good work ethic and you're willing to put time and effort into your sport. That's a gifted athlete.
That is very gifted. Going into dedication, what do you do on days where you're just like, I have zero drive to do anything today? Like, especially
Mhm.
today in Calgary, like there's just been rain and rain and rain, and it's a little, a little cool outside. Some people don't even want to go outside. So when it's even minus 40 outside and it's
Mhm.
freezing and you have to get up early, I'm imagining you're up at like 4 a.m.
Oh, yeah, for early
Yeah.
hours today, yeah.
Take us
Well,
through a day that's like a bit of a struggle. What do you do?
on those days, and there's a lot of those days, especially this morning outside in Calgary today. You just got to remind yourself, hey, these are the days where it counts the most, and it's the days that you don't want to work out, that you don't want to get up, you don't want to put effort in. Somebody else could be in that same position. They choose not to get up, and hey, you're the one that chose to get up, so you have that edge on them, and that you chose to push through even though you don't feel like it.
Nice. That's so true. And I bet your parents probably help you out as well on those days that you're just like, I don't want to get out of bed, Dad.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Does he come in with like cold water and just splash your face? And have you had that moment yet?
I've had moments where I've been really stubborn. I'm like, "Ah, I'm not gonna get up today," and then my dad will come in with some really loud music and start blasting it next to my ears. I'm like, oh crap, okay, I gotta get up.
I was going to say, pulls you from your toes and drags you out of bed and
Yeah, yeah, it's
says, get
funny.
up, get up. What's it
Mhm.
like training and then going to school? Do you find like, okay, I'm been training in the morning and I feel good to go for school? Or do you find like, oh, it's such a long day? What is that like for you?
Well, yeah, there's days where yeah, it does feel like a long day. Training in the morning may have been very hard, but me personally, with my training, after I've trained, I feel energized. I feel ready to conquer my day. I feel like I've already gotten most of the hard stuff out of the way, and I just have to get through this, and then training in the evening, and that's a successful day to me.
That's really good. Okay. When you do train, because
Mm.
it's a lot of work, right? It's
Oh, for sure.
strenuous and going on and like you said, for studies at school. Do you think it helps you motivate you for school more, saying, okay, if I can train in the morning, I can do this exam or I can do, a little test or something. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I feel that the work ethic I put into my boxing and my workouts, if I'm able to push myself during training, yeah, why can't I push myself during school also when it gets tough, when I don't want to be there, I can push myself during those times also.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's one very super important thing to know is that even when the days are super duper tough, we have to look back at the even tougher days and go,
Mhm.
oh, I got up on this minus 40 day and snows up to my eyebrows and, you know,
Mhm. Yeah,
dear if
exactly.
it's, dear if it's crap and yeah, I don't want to go anywhere. And, you know,
Yeah. Exactly,
you
exactly.
gotta think and lay there and go, oh yeah, I did get it through those days and we did make it and whatever.
Mhm.
But I think seeing your progression through the years definitely has paid off.
Oh, for sure.
Seeing
Mhm.
some of your talents and also seeing a lot of what you've actually have achieved in all. So I'm not going to spill the beans on that end, but take us through some of your competitions and tell us what it's like competing and winning medals.
Mhm. Well, for sure, when I started off, even at a smaller level, there's no other feeling for me personally than getting my hand raised after a tough fought fight. Me personally, that's a that's a one of the best feelings for me. And be more specific, last year, I went to the my first Canadian nationals. I On the first day of that tournament, I fought the fighter from BC. I beat him unanimously. That was a great feeling getting that out of the way. Then my second fight, I fought a fighter from Quebec, a very skilled fighter. I ended up taking that as a loss, which was devastating at first, but that drove me to push myself harder during training. And then this year's nationals, I went to Quebec, fought a fighter from Quebec the first day. I ended up stopping him in the third round. I fought a fighter from Saskatchewan on my second fight of the tournament. I stopped him in the third round. Then I fought a fighter from Ontario who was the number one seed of the tournament. I ended up winning a unanimous decision against him. And then all of that going into the final match, it was a very surreal moment. I knew that it wasn't time to celebrate yet until I'd gotten the job finished. And then after I had my hand raised after that gold medal match, it was a indescribable feeling for me. I was just overwhelmed with happiness getting up on that podium and receiving my gold medal after a long week of fighting, a long week of a very serious tournament, and I finally won my national title. It's a surreal feeling.
Wow. Could you imagine just being able to walk around and go, yeah, I won a couple medals and like, yeah, whatever. I just did that. And then there's some kid at your school who's like, oh yeah, I got A's in my class. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Like,
Uh,
good of you. So I
mhm,
want to bring this up. I did a reel with your document, like your PDFs here that your dad sent to me. I
mhm,
wasn't able to share this any other way, so I just kind of threw it into this document because I kind of wanted to go through this a little bit. So here you are, our first
mhm.
page here, holding the gold. So this gold moment, was this your first time ever winning a gold, or when was this? Take us through that day.
Well, this is not too long ago, man. I'd say 3 weeks ago. That was my first time winning gold at a national tournament. That secured my spot on the Canadian national team, and it felt like culmination of years of hard work had come to that, and it was just a surreal moment for me. Very surreal
Yeah.
moment.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's so incredible. When you're up there with the gold, do you like look at the guys beside you and like does anything go through your mind, or just are you just like lost in the moment?
A little bit of both. I'm just overwhelmed with happiness being coming first place, and I know how it feels to be the guy on the side too. So I
Yeah,
know that I know that feeling, and having felt that last year at last year's nationals, it made me getting gold this time just that much sweeter.
nice. That's amazing. That's truly amazing. So when I read this, that you got ranked first out of 277 in all of Canada, and then ranked 26 out of 3,340 in the entire world. That is a huge, huge accomplishment, and
Mhm.
congratulations on that because,
Thank you.
again, that is incredible work and just again, your dedication to get up every day and to train and do it hard, like that is truly something. So when you see those stats and you see the numbers, has that really sank into you at all yet, or is this still kind of cloud nine-ish feeling?
Honestly, I don't think I still don't think I understand the magnitude of what I've accomplished. I like to stay humble, but I know that even after all this, I'm not finished yet. That
Yeah,
I can't. I have to stay hungry as an athlete
yeah,
so I can
good.
get more accomplishments.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree there because I think once your mindset is like, well, yeah, I did it, whatever, and I'm all that in a bag of chips.
Hmm.
Um, I think it can get to you, right? Your ego can get to you. And then I think when that happens and you start, I think, failing, you don't want to go train. You think, oh, well, no, I'm good. I don't need to train. I've done enough
Hmm.
hard work and I've got all these medals and I'm good. Then I think that's when it starts slacking, right?
Oh, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. Okay, so take us through real quick through these little features here. What was like your first medal, and then maybe a few medals that are kind of like the favorite ones that you won, like the best times of them all so far.
For sure, for sure. I think my first significant gold medal would have been at my first provincials in 2022. That was first time I'd won provincials after starting to compete actively and consistently, and being able to call myself the best in the province at the time was a big accomplishment for me. So that's one of my favorites also. Another one of my favorites would have been going to Mexico, winning my fights there. It was I remember it especially for the trip. It was Mexico's a very nice place, at least
Yeah.
for when I went, right? Um,
When you do a trip for competing, do you get like, is it fly in, compete, go home, or do you guys actually get a chance to kind of stay and do like some touristy things and then go? What is that sort of like?
yeah, well, when we do go out of country or just like anywhere for a trip, for a boxing trip, we do try to find some time to explore and go check out some of the scenery and stuff of the place. In Mexico, we got to see a lot of nice places, and even I've been to Florida for boxing, got to check
Nice.
out some nice places there, Portland, all across the states. It's nice that I'm not just flying out there for boxing. I actually get to explore a little bit.
Yeah, because then you pick
Mhm.
up some history of those
For sure.
places, unless you're not like a history buff and you're not into that stuff.
Oh, I'm a bit into it.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's good. I think learning because you are an immigrant from the Philippines. So you kind of learn a little bit about the history of Canada and well, all of North America for sure,
Mhm.
which is truly important. So it kind of brings all of our cultures together in kind of a way, and you learn why one culture does this or that, and even then you learn their cultures, like their sport of their cultures and
Mhm.
how they box, and even like there's some major wrestlers that are from Mexico as well. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting to see what they're good at, and then you can really learn about them. So let's go on and talk about. Um, okay, so this is the nationals. This is the one that you just finished.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, take
Mhm.
us
Quebec.
through the nationals. So was it says Quebec? Well, you kind of did. Quebec, Saskatchewan, Ontario, and New Brunswick. Which was the
Mhm.
hardest match for you and why?
I would say the hardest match for me. It's tough.
And
I'd
it could be,
say.
it doesn't have to be necessarily like physical hard,
Mm,
but mentally hard too, right? There's a couple aspects to that when you fight.
I wouldn't say any of them were significantly hard in a physical way. I'd say mentally would have been Ontario because prior to the start of the tournament, he was seeded as he was the number one seed of the tournament because he'd won nationals last year. So there was a lot of hype around this guy who's supposed to be a killer in the ring. And so I had to tell myself, all right, you know what? When we both step in there, it's me and him. There's no rankings involved. It's just me and the other guy, and he's not undefeatable.
Yeah,
And I know
that's
what I'm
good.
capable of.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have because again, um, I think just the mental game of it when you're competing can really get to someone if you're knowing, oh, I'm gonna have to try and defeat like this #1 champion or gold medalist or this, that, and they're better than me. But you can't go into it like that. Like you said, you have to go into it going, oh, he's just another competitor. And, you know, and are they around your same age, or is it really just the weight? How does that go by?
Yeah, so at this tournament, I competed at the 70 kilogram light middleweight division, like as it
Okay.
says there. Uh, yeah, these guys are all about, I'd say, around 17 years old. Yeah, so they're my weight class in my age division, but I'd had experience before fighting adults. Even since I was 15, I'd been fighting adults. So yeah, that those fights allowed me to prepare for
Yeah.
this level of competition.
Did you get to practice boxing kind of legendary boxers at our boxing gym here in Calgary? Did you get a chance to be able to step in a ring with anyone or train with anyone that was pretty legendary?
Oh, for sure. There's a lot of renowned boxers from Calgary, especially at my gym, Calgary Boxing Club. That gym has produced Olympians, world title contenders, Commonwealth Games champions, and to be surrounded by these type of guys, uh, really put into perspective that hey, I'm training with the same coaches that they trained. I'm training in the same environment that they trained, and that it's possible for me. And
Yeah,
mhm,
that's so cool, right?
for
To
sure.
be in the same ring, standing in the same gym, smelling the
Mhm.
same sweat.
Oh yeah.
This is what the legends are made of.
Hmm, hmm.
In this ring. You know, it's so surreal, right? When you get to be
Oh yeah.
there and look at it and go, wow, like just to be able to take it in. And I suppose even when you're touring and you're going to other countries and you're seeing it, um, just to know, like, you know, there's been legends that have stepped into those rings and boxed, became champions and gold medalists just like yourself. So get to be one of those. That's a huge accomplishment, really, to be able to say you
Hmm.
can do that. So now, of course, the end of this little thing here is it says what's up next for Jacob. So Jacob, what's next?
Well, um, now that I've secured my spot on Team Canada, I will be traveling to Germany during mid-July. I'll be doing a little training camp there with some top-level boxers from across the globe, and then I'll be competing in the Brandenburg Youth Cup, which is a renowned tournament for up and coming amateur boxers around the world. This will be my first tournament officially representing Team Canada and being on the U19 national team, and I'm looking forward to it. I've already started preparing very hard. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting for sure. It's gonna be a good
Wow.
experience.
Okay, so how does one get chosen to be on Team Canada? What is the prerequisite for that? What
Well,
do
to
they
get
say? You kind of have to, you know, have so many titles? Do you have to have what is, you know, what makes somebody be able to be on like Team Canada to be able to go and do that?
to be on Team Canada, they'd have to select you based on your performance at national tournaments, at training camps. They'll evaluate you, see if you have what we call the winning style for amateur boxing, and that's how they'll choose you for to be able to represent Team Canada.
Did they come and scout you out when you were boxing? Did you know?
No, I think it was only at the national tournaments that people from Boxing Canada were there and watching and recording and evaluating me during my
Yeah.
fights.
And that was the only time you knew?
Yeah, that's the only time I know. Yeah, that's the only time I knew. Yeah,
And they were probably at a few matches and you had no idea and they didn't tell you.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I
I
wouldn't
know
know.
scouts do that. They do
Mhm,
that, right? Because
mhm.
then there's no pressure to perform.
Yeah.
So no one knows, like, oh, there's this big person in the building. They won't carry a clipboard. They won't carry anything. They won't record you. They won't do anything. They might maybe take notes on their phone or something like that, but they'll sit there
Mm-hmm.
and they'll watch and see how you do. And
Yeah.
then when they know, okay, this guy's good. I mean, he's not good. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how he does under pressure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Do
Well,
you find
maybe they
that?
have. Yeah.
Do you find like it is pressure when there's somebody big like that watching you?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's been a few moments where well, even at these national tournaments, and even not even at these national tournaments, some really renowned guys have seen me fight before, and knowing that they're there does definitely put a good amount of pressure on you to perform. But
Yeah.
I always have to remind myself, hey, it's just another fight. It's something that you've prepared for. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself to prove something for yourself. So as long
Yeah.
as I remember that, and it's showtime.
What do you think is going to be, do you want to keep doing this for the rest of your life? What's in your heart? What do you really want to accomplish with this?
I really love this sport. I love to take it as far as I can take it. I don't want to be doing it for the rest of my life. Uh, I'd say I wanna I'm aiming for Olympics to make the Olympics and win gold at Olympics. After that, I'll turn professional and solidify myself in the professional game
Mhm.
and have my
Which,
success with boxing at that.
yeah. Would you coach?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love coaching boxing. I love coaching boxing. Then all people of all skill levels, I love coaching boxing.
There
I
you go.
love explaining the technique and just the ins and outs of the sport to anybody who's keen and open.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah, for sure I
Yeah.
would.
Open up your own gym?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'd love to. I'm open to it for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm giving you aspirations for the future.
Oh yeah.
Because you're like, well, I have a million gold medals and I've done world tours and I've done this and I've done that. What else can I do? Right.
mm,
Just something to
mm.
think about. And
Oh
so
yeah.
when I talk to your dad next, I'll, hear that you're going to open up a gym in like 5 years and you're training and doing all that. And then you're training legendary kids growing up as well, right? So that
mm.
would be kind of fun. Did you ever think about doing or like camps or something with some trainers or at all in like the summertime, maybe helping out
Um,
some trainers?
yeah, at my gym, I do some coaching for the kids class, and I'm actually starting to do my own private lessons and small group coaching, just to spread my knowledge of the sport and help anybody that wants to become you know, a good
Yeah.
boxer and succeed at the sport.
Look at this future for you straight ahead. That's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
Well, like again, when you're 4 years old to know something like that, that is such a, I don't even know what I was doing it for. I really couldn't tell you. I was probably, I don't know, learning how to swim. So that's that.
Mm.
Which I just want to go through this last picture here and then we will wrap up. Take us through these awards here.
Well, so the belt on the left, that's my first ever belt. I had won that getting a win over a guy that I was the underdog against. He hadn't been defeated prior, or I think he maybe only had one loss prior and a bunch of wins. So I was the underdog in that fight, and I ended up getting a decisive win. I knocked him down twice in the fight, and that was a surreal moment for me. And the one on the right, the belt on the right, I had won that when I went to Florida for the Sugarbird tournament, and I think that was my first tournament in the States. I'd seen a high level of That's my first time seeing a very high level of competition, and I was able to come out on top then too. So that's my belt, and all those medals there. That's everything I had. I think this photo was taken last year. That's what I'd had since
Okay.
I started competing actively at 13. I think I've racked up a few more, few more medals since
Like
then.
just a few.
Just a few, just a few. Yeah.
Just a few.
Mhm.
Goodness. So you just leave those at home, right? You don't carry your medals around with you anywhere?
No, outside of boxing, I don't think if you saw me walking down the street, you'd think I was a boxer, or not even just a boxer. At like this level of a boxer, I try to keep it pretty humble.
Yeah.
I'm a normal guy at the end of the day.
You're a normal guy at the end of the day. There
Mhm.
you go, kids. And girls, he's busy boxing, so leave him alone. Have you had some ladies Google over your accomplishments yet?
I don't think anybody's come at me from my accomplishments just yet. Uh,
That's good. I think,
mm,
it's truly important is that you know your goals, you know what you're doing, you got a good head on your shoulders, and you really, you've been training so hard. You deserve this life that you've built for yourself, and your parents are awfully proud of you. You've done so
Thank
amazing.
you.
So maybe, down the line, look at that, got bigger things to
Yeah,
do. But um, anyone would be truly proud of you. Like, that's just, it's so incredible. So good for you. And please keep up the good work. Really get in there, go and fight, get your titles, whatever you're going for, Germany, do the things.
mm.
Come back,
Thank you.
do
Appreciate it.
us proud. Okay.
For sure, for sure. That's the plan.
All right. That's awesome. Do you want to add anything else real quick before we do wrap up? That last slide that we did show was asking for support for your journey. So would you like to formally ask the audience for support for your journey?
Yeah, for sure. As an amateur athlete, we a lot of the time we have to pay our own way, and that puts a bit of a toll on the athlete financially. And for anybody that would like to support and like to help out a little bit, um, my e-transfer email is jpbox@sponsorship.com. No pressure, but anything would help for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone would be more than thrilled to be able to help you, especially aspiring young boxer as yourself, doing so good. And you have, again, these wonderful goals for your future as well. And who knows, anyone that's watching, maybe one day you'll be teaching their kids how to box and take them as well to the world champ, whatever things going on. I know a little bit about boxing. I don't know enough about boxing, but the Olympics maybe in 2060. Who knows what's going on then?
Yeah.
You never
Mhm.
know. Jacob is the one, right? So that's what we want to put out there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Do us proud. I can't wait to hear about, what's going on. I'm going to keep in loop with your dad and see, how you're doing. And of course, your dad and I are friends on Facebook, so I get to see the stuff that he posts up. And even if I don't verbally talk to him, then I get to see your progression. So I've seen it so far, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And he's like, yeah, I want Jacob on the show. And I said, for sure, because Canada needs to know that you're going and you're repping us and you're going to do us proud. So we're very thrilled. We're very happy. So keep it up. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right. Sounds good. Have yourself a good weekend. Stay dry
For sure.
and get some sleep. Oh, you're probably going to go train tonight, right? You still have to
Oh
train for
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gotta get some
Okay.
training in tonight.
There you go. Do some skipping in the basement or something. Out on the back deck or something and have fun with that. All right. Have a
Mhm.
good night, Jacob. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. There we go. Isn't that cool and so amazing? Someone so young, bringing home some medals, going out and representing us, Team Canada. That is so cool. And to know at 4 years old that you want to be in boxing. Who knows when you're such a young age? Again, I don't even know what I was doing it for. I was probably watching cartoons and I don't know. It's so cool. So congratulations to Jacob for all of his gold medals and everything that he's won. Can you just it's so thrilling and amazing what he's done. If you guys can go and support him, that would be truly amazing. Again, his email, I'm going to put that back up so you guys can go and e-transfer and send some funds his way, because again, traveling is not cheap, and room, board, whatever expenses that they may have as well. So that would be amazing if you guys can go and help. Thank you guys for tuning in for this week's Connected with Cari. I will be back for those of you on Tuesday. I will be here doing the channel connection with Linda. Then Wednesday, I'm back with Shift Happens with Dina. I thought our season 5 was starting next month. No, I was wrong. It's starting in a few days. So season 5, Shift Happens. And then next weekend, I will be back for another Connected with Cari. I have a beautiful, lovely lady, Chris Graves, who was on, and she helped with The Amazing Race and Temptation Island, a few of those fun things. So stay tuned for that show. And above all, stay connected. Good night.